Not the sports news on omniaudio.africa with Romy Titus and Kevin McCollum.
Because Dube now joins us to chat all things football, especially here at home. Mtho, a warm welcome. Good to have you. But I want to know if you, like me, thought that yesterday's semi between Sundowns and Chiefs was pretty much a given as to who was going to win, because they always win.
Yeah, good morning, Romy, and morning to the listeners. I don't think many people gave Kaizer Chiefs a chance, me included. Looking at the lineup, I think it didn't look really good. With so many injuries, Miguel Inacio, who's been a pillar in their shaky defense. Miguel was not there for the first time, I think, this season, because of an injury. It didn't look really good. On the other hand, Sundowns had 8 internationals in their starting lineup. You could see they wanted to win the game at all costs. So I personally didn't give Kaizer Chiefs a chance.
I didn't either, but it is what it is. And do you think that this is what the team really needs? I mean, in a way, I feel for them, just something to hold on to as we near the end of the season with this final cup competition as well, rounding off the season that was.
Look, Kaizer Chiefs desperately needed this more than anyone. They've not won a trophy. If they don't win the Nedbank, it would be 10 years without a trophy. So, and also the coach being under pressure, I think he needed that win just
But is he under pressure? He's under pressure, obviously, to get the results, Mtho. But then again, Bob Stay came out to say, oh no, we're in the rebuilding phase. But there's got to be pressure. For me, pressure almost to move him out, in my opinion.
He's under a lot of pressure. I mean, that's the honest truth. Under a lot of pressure because he's a coach who wants to play a certain way. He's tried playing that way, dominant football, possession-based football with flying wingers, but he doesn't have the quality to play that kind of game. So it puts him under a lot of pressure because this team doesn't score goals. When I look back to his teams in the past, for example, Young Africans, where he had the number 10, Faisal Saloom, who scores at least 19 goals in a season, Stefan Aziz Ki scores 21 goals in a season. So he's coming to a team where the midfielders don't score, the strikers don't score, the top goal scorer is sitting on 5 goals in all competitions. So that's not good enough. When you look at where Chiefs are on the table, he's a coach that's used to winning trophies and challenging for titles. But he's actually in 8th place on the league table. I mean, that's a lot of pressure, honestly.
It is a lot of pressure. That's why I said so much pressure, in my opinion, that perhaps it is time for a change. But that's just me. I'm just really sitting on the sidelines, having a strong opinion about it. Let's travel now to, I guess, inside the boardrooms of the PSL, because I don't think there's anything official that says, look, thank you and goodbye, Royal AM.
Mm-hmm. Look, I think there was obviously a meeting on Thursday where the Board of Governors, which is the 31 PSL clubs, Betway Premiership and Motsepe Foundation Championship, all agreed that Royal AM have to be removed from the league. So, look, I'm sure we should start getting the details.
By when, though, Mtho? By when do you think? I know we had a chat with Cash and Sport, and we were actually looking at April, if it is that they're still around the catch-up games, etc., but players have also moved on, spotted at Golden Arrows and elsewhere. So now what? Do we just sit and wait for the official sort of trigger to be pulled on Royal AM, or is it safe enough to say the BOG who sat have, reliably voted and they are out?
Yeah, look, here is my understanding. So the PSL is very comes to sponsors, right? So, for example, on a weekend where you have a Nedbank Cup, they will make sure that there's no other major event, there's no other game, so that all focus the Nedbank. I mean, they obviously have to give, the Nedbank Cup like all the focus and all the mileage that the sponsor can get. So,
sure.
I'm thinking it would have that meeting happened on Thursday, the very same day that there was a press conference for the 3 Nedbank semi-finalists, which is Kaizer Chiefs, Sundowns, and Mamelodi Sundowns. And Orlando Pirates. So having an announcement about Royal AM being expelled would have sort of diverted all the
action
focus from
the focus
from the Nedbank and to the Royal AM saga. So I'm thinking they probably wanted to wait until the weekend is over and then come and make the announcement. So possibly in the next few days we'll have the official announcement.
Yeah.
I see that more allegations against one of the bidders, Royal Mudley as he went. Apparently he used the police in KZN, according to City Press, allegedly of course, to lock up his detractors. He would lock up businessmen who were against him. He had the prosecutors at the MPA in his back pocket. This is all allegedly, of course, but yeah. So there's no, I'm glad to see the PSL ruled him as unfit. And obviously he didn't pay his deposit by the time they needed to. So yeah, but I think he just, but due diligence, can you imagine that man in charge of a PSL team, and they don't need that sort of publicity right now.
Yeah. Is there anything else though, Mtho, in terms of the sale of this club?
Look, there's nothing on the sale. I mean, it will be as though this club never existed. The state has gone. So you can't sell it at this point when they've been expelled, So yeah, it's literally the end of Rhulani.
So what, they promote 2 teams from Motsepe Foundation? Do they do that?
So what's going to happen is that number 15, which because now it turns into a 15-team league. Number 15 goes to play the playoff. Number 1 in Motsepe Foundation automatically gains promotion.
Yeah,
and then 2 and 3 then play the playoff with position 15 in the Betway Premiership, and then whoever wins then becomes the 16th team in the Betway Premiership.
Right.
So that is, and SuperSport United are currently 15th. Oopsie.
Yeah.
So that's not great for Gavin Hunt's going, oopsie, sorry about that.
It is a bit of a oopsie. I know I'm speculating here, but could we see Coach Rhulani Mokoena coming home? Because things don't look too rosy at the moment.
It's a story that I've been following very closely, and I can tell you that for sure at the end of the season he will leave Wydad. So what they did was in his contract they inserted a clause that if he fails to finish in the top 2, they are able to terminate and sort of part ways at the end of the season, right? Currently he's dead, and they're obviously waiting for the end of the season. Just I think there's 4 games left, and look, he definitely will be coming back home. And very interesting because his former club, Orlando Pirates, are looking for a head coach.
Correct. That's kind of where I'm going with it, because I'm just like, would he be a fit, and where would he be a fit? Perfect fit, I think, would be at Pirates.
Maybe not perfect fit, obviously, because you can see the kind of coaches that Pirates love. Jose Rivero was seemingly a bit of a private person.
We're laughing here because Mtho, who is like a staunch Pirates fan here in the studio, is like, no.
Yeah, so no, I agree with him. Not a perfect fit for them because, we know the kind of person he is. You look at how Jose Rivero has conducted himself over the, almost 3 years that he's been here. No controversy in his press conferences, no controversy, gives away nothing. You can see that's how Pirates want to do things because they celebrate these things. So Rhulani would not be that kind of coach for them. But from a coaching point of view, I think he's got the experience now. He's guided Sundowns in the AFL, in the CAF Champions League. He's gone to Africa to a Wydad, difficult conditions, and I think he's more mature than he was when he was last at Orlando Pirates, and I think he would be a much better coach now than he was back then. But maybe the issue would be that element, how he addresses the media, because you can tell for Pirates it's very, very, very important.
But I'm just like, try some new things,
This is Orlando Pirates.
I know.
They celebrate when the coach says nothing to the media. It's unless they are going to tame him. Maybe they could actually look at that, and he would be a perfect fit. And I'm sure for him it would mean a lot. Obviously, because of the history of the club and with his family, his
Correct.
his grandfather, and himself as well. I mean, having also been an assistant coach there and having left under the circumstances he left, I'm sure he would feel he has unfinished business with the club.
Yeah, he's got Pirates DNA in his body, and basically running through him. That's what you need. You need someone who believes in the club, who understands the club, who understands tradition. So maybe that's great. That'd be a perfect fit for them. That, for me, it just doesn't. It sounds like a no-brainer.
Going back to Royal AM very quickly, I know that the team is busy dismantling. Players are looking for other clubs. Some have left already. Out of the crop of players there, Mtho, how many have been rehomed, if I could put it that way?
Look, I think I know of about 6 that have moved. I think they've moved to, I think there's 3 that have moved to Richards Bay, and then there's another 3 that have moved to Golden Arrows. I think one of them being Fundo Tigazi. We do know Thabo Matlaba as well, the former Orlando Pirates left back, also was seen at Golden Arrows. So maybe he could also be moving to Golden Arrows.
So 6 out of a team of how many players?
Look, they're probably at about 25 players because they've not been able to register new players in the last 2 seasons. Yeah, but I'm sure clubs are obviously looking at ones that they can get. Of course, there is others that were released. Like Hugo Nyame, they terminated his contract. It was a mutual termination. But he hasn't found a club. Mxolisi Machupu as well. He was cleared a few months ago. So I'm sure in the next couple of weeks we'll see them making moves to new clubs.
Mtho, thank you so much. Always a pleasure chatting. Mtho Dube there off the Far Post. You can log on and check out their stories and tracking and tracing quite a few of them. But I guess a big shock and an upset for all the Mamelodi Sundowns fans who I think felt that it was a given. Nice to know that 6 out of 25 players have been able to find other clubs to go to. And I hope that the others, find their places of employment as well. I'm sure it's time to check in with SAFBU again to see whether or not these players have been paid.
If they get insurance, if they get backup. I do see parallels between Liverpool's end of the season and Sundowns' end of the season. Are they getting a bit tired? Are they getting a bit leggy?
Yes,
and that's what I see Liverpool happen to them. So you're playing so many games and so many different tournaments. Can you carry it on? Can you keep the momentum up?
Can you? So close. Please get second wind.
We only need 2 more. So I've just checked. It's 6 points from 6 games.
Yes.
We might be able to do that.
All right. Go Liverpool fans.
Yay, me.
We're back tomorrow.
We are indeed. Back with Mampara of the Week.
Whip.
Oh, what a Mampara, sorry.
Till then, cheerio.
Not the sports news on omniaudioafrica with Romy Titus and Kevin McCollum.